And joining us now is Democratic Congressman Eugene Vindman of Virginia. He's an Army veteran and sits on the Armed Services Committee. He fled Ukraine as a child. Congressman, it's great to see you. I thank you for your time. Let's start with that NBC reporting that some U.S. allies are considering cutting back or not sharing intelligence with the U.S. given the president's pivot towards Russia. How significant do you think that is?
Well, look, it's pretty significant. Thanks, Jose. Great to be on. The Five Eyes have been the bedrock of our intelligence sharing for decades now. They're our most trusted partners, and they're losing confidence that we're a trusted partner. And if you think about the first 45 days of this administration, it's truly been an abomination. Whether you're looking at domestic policy or foreign policy, our about face on Ukraine policy, turning towards dictators and away from our democratic allies is really problematic. And so how do you not lose confidence in this administration and what they're doing?
Yeah, how is it that an administration, Republican or Democrat, do you think, Congressman, should handle the reality versus what they wish the reality were? So do you not deal with dictatorships? Do you not have communication with dictatorships? And if you do, then what dictatorships do you choose to speak with, and what dictatorships do you just choose to let them exist?
Well, look, we should be talking to our allies and our adversaries. So we need to keep open lines of conversation. I mean, during the entire Cold War, we obviously had a hotline to the Soviets. So we need to continue to have those conversations. But that doesn't mean we give away the farm when we start, before we even start negotiating or pander to them, calling or refusing to call a dictator and calling the democratically elected leader of a country fighting for its freedom and sovereignty a dictator. I mean, that's outrageous. I think there's a middle ground there. We're nowhere near it. This is more of an about face and folding its weakness than keeping lines of communication open.
Yesterday, France's President Macron gave a televised address to his country where he said, "We've entered a new era." He said Russia has become a threat, not just for Ukraine, but France and all of Europe. And he said, quote, "I want to believe that the United States will stay on our side, but we have to be ready if they don't." That's so, striking to see in writing, right? I mean, Congressman, how big of a global realignment are we witnessing?
Yeah, it's enormous. It's basically the end of the post-World War II rules-based order that the United States helped enshrine. I gave a speech on the floor about right on the anniversary of the full-scale invasion of Ukraine, talking about the end of Pax Americana. I mean, this is an enormous realignment. And I think it's unfortunate because it's based on some misunderstanding. The U.S. is not the only partner. We're the preferred partner for everybody, but we're not the only partner. And we're seeing that with Ukraine and the European allies that are standing up and offering potentially an air umbrella, troops on the ground, and additional resources. So it's highly problematic. It's damaging to our national security. Our alliances, our relationships overseas have been what's made this country strong and allowed this country to prosper, provided some level of predictability. And we're seeing that evaporate, and that's having an impact already on our economy.
Congressman, the White House is responding to a report in Reuters that says the president is planning to revoke legal status for Ukrainians who have fled since the war and come to the United States. The White House press secretary now says no decision has been made at this time. What's your reaction to this?
I think it's ridiculous. I mean, again, these are folks that are fleeing oppression, aggression. Their cities are being rained with bombs, and it's outrageous. They're refugees, very much like I was a refugee when I first came to this country. They're looking to the United States that has been a haven for generations, and now we're forsaking them. It's unacceptable, and I don't trust this administration at all to make the right decisions. I'm very disappointed.
You know, Congressman, just the term congressman, and I know that you have such a vast legacy of service to the United States. But I'm just wondering, Congressman, you talk about oppression, and I keep thinking about, the people of Cuba that have been living for 64 years under a dictatorship, what's going on in Venezuela, what's going on in Nicaragua, what's going on in Iran since 1979, one of the most oppressive regimes on earth. How do you feel every day when you get to go to Capitol Hill and knowing that you were born in a country that at the time was under the boot of the Soviet Union? How does it, just on a human level, what does it mean to you?
Well, look, up to this point, this country has always had the American dream. It's been alive. When you come to this country as a refugee, not speaking any English, but learning English, decades of education, military service, and end up in Congress representing almost 800,000 Americans, what better representation of the American dream is there? And that's been true up until this point, but we're seeing such a rapid retreat in these first 45 days. Like I said, it's an abomination. I'm hard-pressed to think of a worse 45 days self-inflicted by any administration in this country's history, whether it's turning away from our values or damaging the country and the economy and predictability. I mean, it's terrible. And I think the American people are waking up to this threat and making their voices heard, just like 7,000 did last night in the teletown hall that I had.
Congressman Vindman, thank you very much for your time. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Jose.